Good evening. This is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Keraba Avenue, and I'm Ashma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. The Ministry of Justice and GK partners, in collaboration with the National Assembly, convened a day stakeholder retreat for lawmakers and key partners to discuss diaspora voting and representation. 2 Gambian medical professionals left on Sunday for China for 6 months training at the largest hospital in northeast China. Hundreds of Q Group staff and their families gathered on Saturday at Q City for the annual Q Group Staff Family Fun Day. In international news, Saturday, May 25th is Africa Day, observed annually in commemoration of the founding of the Organization of African Unity on May 25th, 1963. And in sports news, the Gambia Football Federation unveiled Northern Irishman Jonathan McKinstry as the Gambian national team coach in a ceremony at a local hotel this morning. Those are other stories coming up, so stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Now, as part of the ongoing efforts to push the diaspora voting, the Ministry of Justice and GK partners, in collaboration with the National Assembly, convened last Saturday for a day-long stakeholder retreat for lawmakers and key partners to discuss diaspora voting and representation. Alusisi reports.
Dubbed the 8th region of the country, the diaspora has long assumed a great role in addressing the financial basic needs and economic activities back home. In 2023, total remittance inflows stood at $737.12 million, equivalent to $45 billion. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of the Gambia disclosed that the diaspora remittance inflows amounted to $203.7 million in the first quarter of 2024, representing a 12.4% increase on the previous year. Professor Jibril Fall, Director of GK Partners, the implementing agency of the Migration and Sustainable Development in the Gambia project, emphasized the urgency of ending the disenfranchisement of tens of thousands of diaspora voters. He believes the challenges are surmountable with commitment and actions.
So, you will have questions. You will have practical issues that concern you. Our point to you, our request, our begging to you is those are nowhere near enough for you to object, impede, or any way hinder this.
Actualizing diaspora voting and representation requires the passing of the election bill by the National Assembly, demarcation of the diaspora constituencies by the Independent Electoral Commission, and diaspora voting registration by the IEC, among other actions. Abdullah Sise, the Deputy Majority Leader, Madi MK Sise, the Deputy Minority Leader, Suleiman Jame, co-chair of the Election Bill Joint Committee, and Samba Bande, co-chair of the Interparty Committee, respectively, recognize the diaspora as a critical contributor to national development, and as such, the Parliament is committed to support the process.
Diaspora is a critical part of our country, and of course, being part of our electoral process is also going to, support Gambia a lot.
Therefore, we as National Assembly members of this 6th legislature are really more than ready and willing to do the needful, to do what we are supposed to do.
And for me, my philosophy is, if we want to develop as a country, we must have proper representation.
When Gambians can vote wherever they live, democracy and inclusive politics will win.
The Constitution guarantees every citizen of the Gambia who is 18 years or older and of sound mind the right to vote in presidential and National Assembly elections, and can register as a voter in the National Assembly constituency for that purpose. However, the diaspora is yet to be demarcated as a constituency, meaning diasporans must return home to register and vote if they wish to take part in the electoral process. Dauda A. Jallo, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, although not promising that the diaspora will certainly vote in the next electoral cycle, gave assurances of the government's commitment to the process.
Of course, the constitutional challenges remain. There is an attempt to remedy them under the current constitution through a constitutional amendment, or alternatively, if the draft constitution that stalled for a moment is able to come to life in time, we hope that's also a second opportunity to deal with this issue holistically in the Constitution.
Whether or not the diaspora will vote in the next election cycle depends on the National Assembly amending the country's laws to bring about this long-desired change. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, 2 Gambia medical professionals left on Sunday for China for 6 months training at the largest hospital in Northeast China. The training program is part of China-Gambia Paired Hospital Cooperation aimed at boosting the capacity of Gambia's main referral hospital in Banjul. Moudalamin Choi reports.
It is a farewell for these Gambian health professionals who are set to expand their horizons in the medical field of gynecology, the branch of medicine that deals with female reproductive health. From the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, they are setting off for China, where they will be deployed at Shenzhen Hospital of China Medical University. Here are Dr. Yang Cheng and Dr. Abdullah Keda, head of obstetrics and gynecology departments of Shenzhen Hospital and the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, respectively.
In the next 6 months of training, you will be able to have access to cutting-edge medical technology and equipment, a wealth of medical knowledge and practical skills. I sincerely hope that your training in China will be rewarding.
The China government has been supporting Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital and Ministry of Health, the Gambia, with critical medical equipment and supplies for the past 4 or 5 years. And my department, Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, can attest to that. They have given us some equipment which are almost one in West Africa, if not in Africa.
The training program is the latest outcome of the China-Gambia Paired Hospital Cooperation Framework, which was signed in February, pairing the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital with the Shenzhen Hospital located in Liaoning province of China. Dr. Chen Peng, the Chinese coordinator for the Paired Hospital Corporation, and is also part of the China medical team in the Gambia.
We are celebrating a farewell ceremony to our brilliant Dr. Keba and the excellent nurse Mariama, who are going to study in China for their medical training. In you, I have seen the wisdom and the hard working of the Gambia people.
In line with the Paired Hospital Cooperation Framework, EFSTH and Shenzhen Hospital will carry out medical exchanges to assist the Gambia's main referral hospital to strengthen the capacity of the gynecology department through donations of medical and pharmaceutical equipment. Tong Chan is the Counselor of Commercial and Economic Affairs at the Chinese Embassy in the Gambia.
In the next 3 years, we are going to invite maybe 6 or more doctors and nurses to China, and also they will send some experts to Gambia to have some seminars or exchange about the medical or therapists, something like that, yes. So I think with our the China-Gambia paired hospital mechanism, we will have more outcomes in the fields of health and Medicare.
These health professionals will be exposed to some of the latest technologies for the conducting of minimally invasive gynecological surgery, which is a modern surgical approach that involves smaller incisions and shorter recovery times for patients. Dr. Keba Gazama is a gynecologist from the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, who is part of a team of 2 medical professionals heading to China for the training.
Our expectations and our goal is when we come back here, we want to prevent the Gambian patients to go overseas for treatment to acquire some of this, expertise outside.
With a strong comprehensive capabilities, Shenzhen Hospital's Gynecology and Obstetrics Department has cooperated with EFSTH for 7 years. The hospital has donated a substantial amount of medical equipment and previously helped train 2 local doctors in endoscopic surgery, manifesting the mutual cooperation between Banjul and Beijing. Mohamed Lamin Chai, QTV News.
Hundreds of Q Group staff and their families gathered on Saturday at Q City for the annual Q Group Staff Family Fun Day. The event was graced by the CEO and senior management of the Q Group and featured various sporting and fun activities. More in this report by Ansumana Isonyasi.
The Q Group is widely known for its excellent service delivery and unbeatable record as a leading multinational business group offering unbeatable services across various sectors. As part of its people-centered approach to business, staff and their families can socialize in the family-friendly atmosphere at the annual Family Fun Day. Staff members and their families look forward to the day with great anticipation as it provides an ideal occasion for personal interactions and leisure. As is customary, senior management led by CEO Mohamed Jah graced the occasion at Q City, which featured several sporting activities. Speaking to QTV, Chairman Jah expressed his delight at witnessing what he describes as the results of years of hard work. The Q Group, he says, is a big family with a desire to positively impact society.
Wow, it's one of the nicest days for me. So all the time,
when I come to Q Group events like this one, it reminds me of when we started over 20 years ago. We were about 5 in number and none of us was married or had any kids. But when you look around here, it tells you how much we have grown over the years. We are one big family bonded by a common desire to contribute meaningfully to national development. His remarks were echoed by Madam Aissatou Jah, Chief Information Officer of QCell, who doubles as the Executive Director of the Q Group Foundation, and Lassana Tunkara, Deputy General Manager of QTV. As they highlight the importance of the day to strengthening familial ties between staff, they thanked families of staff for their continuous support and patronage.
It's a day of fun and happiness for everyone. It also gives an opportunity to interact with families of other staff. We get to know each other and socialize, especially for children. This shows the Q Group is one big family.
Alhamdulillah, it's nice. You come, you see all the family, the children running around enjoying themselves. Makes me think back in the day when we used to have our first ones. You know, this is not a new thing. We've been doing it. When there may be like 30 of us, we went to Bruford, the beach at Bruford, and had a small thing there. To now we are here and everybody's enjoying themselves. And it's nice, you know, the kids, you can leave them to run free. They feel safe, they're enjoying. Alhamdulillah, it's nice.
Staff members Sekou Juara and Babukar Sise shared their joy at witnessing yet another fun day with their families and colleagues. And as they reveled in the moment, they also emphasized the need for togetherness.
Alhamdulillah,
this is a moment of gratitude, and we thank Allah for being able to witness another family fun day. What this shows is that we should always be united. For me, this is a beautiful sight to have the chairman and everyone else here with their families.
The fun day is fantastic, it's interesting, and you can see kids, adults, old people like me, we are all happy, we are all enjoying. You know, they said all work, no play, make what?
Jack, a dull boy.
Exactly. So today there is no dull boy here. We are all what, boys?
We are all happy boys.
Happy boys, active boys, agile boys.
Awake boys.
Yes.
There you go.
The day featured various games and competitions between staff and companies of the Q Group, including football, tug of war, musical chair, among others. Winners were awarded medals and cash prizes for their outstanding performances. Corporate fun days are important for team building and helps enhance relations between staff, thereby promoting a happier environment and ensures everyone feels valued within their job. And for the Q Group, this again demonstrates the group's commitment to fostering a culture of togetherness amongst its staff. Ansmane Nyasi for QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break, but when we return, we have more local, international, as well as sports news stories for you. Don't go away.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected. Juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Asma Uba. Now let's take a look at international news. Now, every year, Africans all over the world come together to commemorate Africa Liberation Day, also called Africa Day, by pledging their solidarity for the liberation of Africa. But is Africa liberated 61 years after the founding of the AU's predecessor, the OAU? The story by Julian Jai is narrated by Mumudulamin Choi.
The theme for the 2024 Africa Liberation Day commemoration is Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century, building resilient education systems for increased access to inclusive, lifelong quality and relevant learning in Africa. The annual event marks the founding on 25th May 1963 of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, which was later transformed into the African Union in 2002. African Liberation Day, or Africa Day, is an opportunity for Africans to remember that on May 25th, 1963, 32 African countries signed the Charter of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, when only 30 of them had gained independence from colonial rule. The Charter, which calls for greater unity among African countries, supported the independence of African countries from colonialism and apartheid, and promoted economic and political cooperation with a vision that all people on the continent would live freely and in prosperity. Africa Day is also an opportunity to reflect on the progress made by the African Union in achieving its goals, especially regarding protecting the human rights and freedom of Africans. Here is His Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, speaking about the commemoration of Africa Day.
I would like to take this opportunity to address not only governments and official institutions, but also the youth and the women of Africa. Liberation and progress in development and integration are now a reality. This has been the result of the vision and the leadership of the founding fathers and current leaders, but also and above all of your mobilization by the hundreds of millions across the continent. Your many sacrifices, your unshakable endurance to ensure that the sun shines and warms planet Africa.
However, 61 years since the founding of the African Union, the continent still grapples with challenges such as poor governance, insecurity, coups, and poverty, amongst others, which hinder the continent's liberation efforts. Here is the chairperson of the African Union Commission again.
Clearly, Africa's demographic explosion is social constraints that are resistant to the demands of the new world. The continuing deterioration of our climatic condition, the various forms of foreign interference in our internal affairs, the permeability of certain categories of its elites to foreign discourse, and the obvious shortcomings in terms of governance have not helped to transform the above-mentioned positive assets into factors of social justice, equality, and inclusive prosperity.
The Organization of African Unity, born of the pain of our struggles, now finds itself at a real crossroads. Although all the African countries have since gained independence from colonialism, the dream of a United States of Africa remains a distant one. Mahmoud Lamin Chai, QTV News.
Also in international news, more than 200 delegates and participants are attending the Oxford Africa Conference 2024 to discuss challenges and solutions to some numerous issues facing the continent. Our reporter Mumudu Gajaga is one of the participants and now reports from Rhodes House, Oxford in the United Kingdom.
The Oxford Africa Conference is the leading interdisciplinary forum in the UK, solely organized by students, which is dedicated to discussing issues peculiar to the African continent. The theme for this year's conference is Charting Africa's Path Forward, a journey of possibilities. Aissatou M. Bokum is the president of the Oxford Africa Society.
The Oxford Africa Conference is an annual gathering that brings together stakeholders and from diverse backgrounds to discuss pressing issues on the African continent and brainstorm actionable solutions. This year, our theme is Charting Africa's Path Forward, a journey of possibilities. We carefully chose this theme to reflect our enduring commitment to Africa's development journey and our deep-rooted partnership with stakeholders across the continent and in the diaspora.
Explore avenues for promoting transparency, accountability, and citizens' participation to strengthening governance structures across Africa was one of the topics discussed at the conference. Former Kenya Prime Minister Raila Odinga says there is still optimism in Africa's future despite the challenges it faces.
We need to learn to prepare instead of merely preparing to respond. We must do this collectively as a continent to deal with critical issues that affect more than one country. Overall, I remain confident that the transformation of Africa is underway and will continue. I'm encouraged by the determination of young global citizens, such as yourselves, to change the future of the continent and the world.
There were panel discussions on governance, youth and women participation in politics. The panel included Fatoumata Tumanjai, the National Assembly member for Banjul South in the Gambia, Senator Edwin Watenia Sifuna of Nairobi County, Maudu Jallo, advisor at the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, amongst others. Professor Irene Tracy, Vice Chancellor, University of Oxford, congratulated the Oxford Africa Society for putting up a conference to discuss about the continent.
To illustrate the importance of the relationship that we have with Africa, the importance and the value we place in the networks, the collaborations, our desire to work with you as we take on some of those global challenges, whether that's climate change, whether that's around health, which of course has been long-standing through our collaborations.
For the organizers, the two-day conference is more than an event. They consider it a catalyst for positive change and a celebration of Africa's resilience, potential and achievement. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News, Oxford, United Kingdom.
From international, let's now take a look at sports news in a moment. The Gambia Football Federation unveiled Northern Irishman Jonathan McKinstry as the Gambia national team coach to succeed Tom Senfet in a ceremony at a local hotel this morning. Amadou Tamba was there and he filed this report.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports, the National Sports Council and the Gambia Football Federation together took part in unveiling McKinstry in a ceremony held at the Paradise Suites Hotel. McKinstry has signed a 2-year deal and will begin work immediately as he prepares the Scorpions for their 2026 World Cup qualifiers in June. Speaking at the unveiling, the president of the Gambia Football Federation, Lamin Kaba Bajo, called on Gambians to unite as a country and avoid fighting within the game.
What I can assure you from the level of at the GFF level, you have absolute
independence and autonomy in terms of selecting your squad and deciding on your fixtures. That has never been an issue between us and the past 3 coaches, including our own Sandong.
The Minister of Youth and Sports, Bakari Y. Baji, says he believes McKinstry is the best coach for the job and expects him to give us the results we anticipate, as well as assuring him of his ministries, governments, and federation support.
Coming in at a time that Gambia has gone to AFCON twice consecutively is a very difficult task because the expectation is higher now than before. The deliverables are even higher now than it has been in the past for the reason that we have gone to AFCON in 2021 and gone back to AFCON in 2023. And sometimes they say when you bars are raised too high, the ones that come after have a bigger task. And I think that is the task that you have, and I know you understand that very well.
The new Scorpions boss, McKinstry, says it is a huge privilege to be here, citing that the collaboration, unity, and shared vision he found in the Gambia have given him huge hope, not just for the next couple of years, but beyond.
There is only one direction we are going, and that is forward. That is not just as a nation, it is as a federation, as a government, as a sports council. It's as a team in terms of our mentality about the game. Forward. We want to go forward. Every step we want to take is forward. Every level that we achieve is forward. And the other thing is that to do that, to move forward, the only way we can do that is to do it together.
Coach McKinstry, who plans to have some quality time in the Gambia and watch some league games, also highlighted that his backroom staff have not been finalized. However, he stressed that everyone will be tasked with working hard and that his assistant coach will be revealed when he names the squad this week.
A former captain of mine for the Rwanda national team said, he always used to say it, he said, when you step onto that field, you've got to be willing to die a little bit for your country. And if that country of your heritage isn't sort of seeped into your marrow, into your bones, are you going to go out and die a little bit for it? And so for me, whether you're born in the Gambia or whether you're born outside of the Gambia, we will always consider you. But we want to know that you will put the interests of the Gambia and its success on the world stage at the front of your agenda.
Coach Jonathan McKinstry will begin his reign as Scorpions boss in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers when his side faces the Seychelles in Morocco on June the 8th before facing Gabon in Franceville on June the 11th, 2024. Reporting for QTV News, I am Amadou Tamba.
Well, that's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.